I've got too many bills.
If you need funds, you can apply in minutes at cashnetusa.com and have the money in your account as soon as the same business day.
Okay, got it. Applying now.
They've been helping hardworking people cover emergency expenses since 2004.
Hey, look, I got it.
You've got this.
When you need money fast, be the hero. All loans subject to lender approval. Speed of funding is subject to verifications and your bank's processing times. See cashnetusa.com for more details.
At RX Bar, they believe in simple nutrition without the BS. That's why they said no to artificial ingredients and yes to deliver intentional, transparent nutrition. Try their original 12-gram protein bar, the nut butter and oat bar, or minis. RX Bar, the proud sponsor of No BS. Use code RXBAR on rxbar.com for 25% off. Subject to full terms and conditions and to change. Valid until September 30, 2025, and may not be combined with other offers. See rxbar.com for full details and limitations.
Welcome back to Who's the Bitch?
Yes.
I'm Kara Klang.
And I'm Jackie Zabrowski, and we are here to tell you who the bitch in your life is. And is it you? Who knows?
It could be. But yes, we get bitchuations via email, DMs, voicemail, occasionally a live call-in.
Sometimes a crow flies in the window, and I'm like, how did you even find us? What they do?
Oh, Pony Express. Send us your bitchuations. You can
I don't know if the ponies are going to be able to get into the windows, but man, they will be hooving about outside, and we will find them.
You go to them. We're at who'sthebitch.com if you want to know any of that information. And we also have some little announcements. If you have been following us possibly since the beginning, you know that we were doing live streams every other week where we took your calls live. And we are going to be doing a huge live Who's the Bitch. It's Who's the Bitch Live Summer Bitchathon 2025.
Yes.
Mark your calendars, June 26th. This is going to be from 4 to 7 Pacific time. So that's 7 to 10 for you East Coasters. If you're in one of the other time zones, you know how to figure that out.
You'll figure it out.
4 to 7, 7 to 10 on the two coasts. And we are going to be taking all of your bitchuations, your situations,
live.
your
we
situationships.
Hear from you, but also get yourself over to youtube.com/who'sthebee.
But it's
at Who's the Bee.
Yes, you have to put a little at symbol before Who's the Bee.
At Who's the Bee.
Listen.
And that's where you will find us. Go get your subs in there.
And just so you know, we are not censoring the word bitch. YouTube is the bitch. And they're a little bit like, we're worried that no one's going to see anything if we use the word bitch too much. So you'll see that our title of our YouTube channel is at Who's the Bee. Go over and subscribe just so you can get our videos once they download. And
we promise we're not censoring ourselves, because that would be all of a sudden like, I can't say the word bitch anymore. How dare. I might have vapors to death.
You're being a bee.
Oh.
No, we are so excited. We're going to do this 3-hour-long live stream.
I'm so excited,
It's going to give us so much time to answer more calls than we usually do. We've only had done 1-hour episodes before this.
Bitch,
we're going to have guests. We're going to have games. You come join your 2 drunk aunts. We are going to be out on the lanai in our caftans.
Get your buzz balls up.
There's going to be a buzzball. There's going to be a buzzball presence.
A bit of a buzz waterfall, yes.
So again, that's June 26th. That's a Thursday, June 26th from 4 to 7 or 7 to 10, depending on where you are. Let's get into some general bitchery.
Yes, it is about
I wanted to give a quick update. We got this email. Hi, ladies. I'm the person who proposed to her boyfriend a month before his sister's wedding. Thank you so much for the advice. I kind of love wedding drama content online, and I think I let it get to my head and convince me that I needed to follow all sorts of rules or else I would be one of those bitches.
I get you.
As a woman, it feels like every desire you have is somehow selfish and wrong, so it's hard to sort through when it's better to put other people first and when it's time to say no. My needs matter too.
Hell yes.
But I think I just needed someone to tell me, girl, it's fine, calm down. Anyways, he said yes.
Congratulations.
Everyone is happy for us. No drama.
Yes.
His sister is cool with it, and all is well. Thanks again.
I love this.
And she sent us a super cute little pic, and I'm going to it's going to be on our Instagram. We're going to put it on our Instagram. It's like a cute little wedding announcement pic.
Oh my God, I love
that they did.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. I'm so glad that your your sister-in-law or maybe it's your sister. No, his sister, it's your future sister-in-law, is not being a bitch about it.
Bitch.
And then we got a solicit. We like when people send us in, bitchiest dog, bitchiest month. We like those. And someone has sent us in, what's the bitchiest flower?
I love this.
You didn't say if you wanted your name read out. So this was somebody via Instagram. I'm not going to say your name, but I think it was somebody via Instagram. Sorry, I'm going through so many submissions, you guys.
You're doing a great job, Kara.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. That's actually really
You've got a very good organizer brain, and I appreciate you using your strengths and helping us both.
But the bitchiest flower, God, I'm so not a good flower person. My initial
out the gate. What do you think out the gate?
Is orchid. Because orchids are just so like precious, and you have to they open when they want to open or whatever, or they're so fragile. They've got to have a little supporting post to help them.
Yes, they do need a lot of help.
You have to put I don't know. My friend just gave me an orchid that lasted forever, so I will say it's a bitch that sticks around. But I had to put ice cubes once in a while.
Whoa, where did you put the ice cubes up in this?
On top of the little pot that she gave me that it was in, just to sort of let it get slowly watered. You don't want to overwater the orchid.
A little bit.
But I don't know. Besides that, what's your feeling, Jackie?
I will say out the gate, this might be controversial for everybody, but I feel like a rose. I feel like a rose out the gate. Everybody,
thorny.
It is thorny, but that makes me like the rose a little bit more. But I feel like it's one of those that everybody's like, oh, it's the most expensive. It's like, oh, it's the flower. It's the only flower. It is like the top of the pop.
Rose thinks it's the HBIC, right? The head bitch in charge.
Exactly.
That's the rose.
I think that's why it is a little bitchy, even though don't get me wrong, I love a rose. I love a rose oil. But sometimes it can be a little much. It can take over if you put too much rose in a dessert, for example. I think it can take over. I feel bad.
Rose perfume though,
right? It can be too much.
It feels like
it can definitely be too much, especially the ones Kara and I were just talking about. We are both an allergic people, and I feel like sometimes there are certain flowers when they are really popping out there that I'm like, wish you wouldn't, and I feel like that's kind of bitchy behavior.
Yeah,
but I feel like I don't know. I'm just going to say it. I feel like marigolds are bitchy. And I know that they are October's flower month, and that is my favorite month. So you'd think that, how dare you say that marigolds are bitchy, but maybe that even lends itself to helping it be a part of my favorite part of the year, is that the marigold is so bitchy.
The marigold. Okay. I was also going to say, I love hydrangeas, unlike Madonna. She absolutely loves hydrangeas. But I like hydrangeas. They were in my wedding bouquet. But I think that's what's funny about hydrangeas. They're kind of a bitch because they're like, yeah, I'm big and beautiful, but I don't smell. I got no smell.
Yes.
I got no scent.
Oh,
and
yes.
Deal with it.
Yes.
Deal with it.
That is a little bit bitchy. You know what also? A little bit bitchy? Tulips. Beautiful. They're beautiful. But you wait all year and they're going to come back and you're like, oh, they're coming.
When are they coming?
Oh,
and they're like, I'm coming when I feel like it.
Right. When they come when they feel like it. And then they start bursting out and then they give you that pop. And then I feel like they pop and then they fizzle.
Dead
and then
immediately.
They're over.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the petals have fallen off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I waited all year for this.
And I will say I love a bird of paradise.
Oh.
In LA, that was something I was exposed to only when I moved to LA. And I was like, look at these bitches. They are ruling the roost.
Oh, yeah. They
squawking. Look like birds. They're squawking. They're getting my attention.
Yeah.
And I like those.
And I love a poppy, And that
huge.
But
in this part of the country.
Is a poppy bitchy because of in California, can't touch them. Bing, 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 bing. Bing, bing.
And they put you to sleep.
And then they put you to sleep. But that also, again, makes me, maybe I love a bitchy flower.
Maybe you do.
I had no idea.
Look at you.
Didn't know
I'm going to get you a bouquet of the bitchiest flowers I could possibly think of. It's going to look so ugly. All the flowers mixed together that we just talked about.
No, every time I feel like, I'm going to go get some cut flowers. And I go and I get the cut flowers. And then I get them at the farmer's market. And I'm like, oh, these are fall
you're
flowers.
So fancy.
Yes.
I'm like, I get them at Trader Joe's.
And I try to, but you know what? You should get them at Trader Joe's. Because I always think, I'm like, Oh, I'm going to do it with a flare. Oh, I put a little bit of baby's breath. It never looks good. It always looks like a child did it.
It's a true talent.
It
flower
is.
arranging.
I cannot do it. I don't know what the trick is. There's got to be an easy way of how you're supposed to cascade them.
Yeah.
I just don't have it.
Well, let's get into our unsolicited advice. Speaking of beautiful bitchy flowers, right? We've got something beautiful. We've got a beauty discussion to talk about. Our unsolicited advice. This is where we talk about something in the culture where nobody asks our opinion, but we're giving it.
We're giving it anyway. And man, I would be scared to give my opinion in this group of bitches. Yes, we're talking about the Hollywood Reporter's latest Drama Actress Roundtable. And it included Kathy Bates, Niecy Nash-Betts, Parker Posey, Kerry Russell, Kristen Milioti, and Helen Mirren. Now that is a roundtable of bitches right there.
I gotta say, Kristen Milioti must have been like,
dying.
Me? Like, I mean, I think she's great, but like
a wonderful person.
These are like, to me, like legends.
Yes,
everyone else,
absolute legends. But she definitely holds her own in this conversation. Now, Helen Mirren did open up a little bit in talking about some advice she was given when she was very young, and I would love to hear this clip.
Yeah. I was told to have a nose job. In my 20s.
Helen Mirren.
In my 20s. Some said you never get work if you don't have a nose job.
Wow. You have a lovely nose.
Yeah. Thank you, darling. I didn't have the nose job. But so silly, isn't it?
What was your response?
I said, no, I'm not having a nose job. I didn't want to be a pretty actress anyway, So, I elected to be not so pretty.
Kristen.
So right after this, it cuts over to Kristen Milioti. But here's the thing. Apparently, there was some stuff said in between that got cut from the large, the video that we just scrubbed at, and I just went through and made sure that it wasn't said because there are articles out about it said. Because after she said, I didn't want to be a beautiful actress, then Niecy Nash-Betts says, when you said I didn't want to be a beautiful actress, first of all, too late, because you are. But I understand what you mean in theory. I love being shiny in my real life. On camera, I don't care. She says, I want to look like a dog. It doesn't bother me to disappear in some of those roles, yada, yada, yada. But then down the line, Kathy Bates says, I don't know if y'all have the same experience, but when you see an amazing performance, it doesn't matter what that person looks like. They're beautiful. They're hot, And then Helen Mirren says, looking at our faces around this table, none of us are beautiful. Kathy Bates goes on to say,
shots fired, Helen Mirren.
She says, get out of town. I feel more beautiful than I have in my entire life. But then Helen Mirren doubles down and says, we're not. None of us are beauties. We all have really different faces, very interesting faces. And Kerry Russell then says, I know what you mean, like model beautiful. To which Helen replies, we all know what beautiful is like. And Kerry quipped, Kathy's like, speak for yourself. And that section was cut from the
But what's crazy is it's still in the Hollywood Reporter's transcript. So why would they cut it? They must have put it out and then it got a reaction and Helen Mirren was like, take it down.
Take it down. It must be. But I think that this is an important conversation to have where I find that it is more of an old school ideology that I feel like we started getting when we were young from some of the boomers that were trying to change.
Yeah.
About being different and unique is also beautiful. It also is wonderful. But it's crazy to hear that coming from someone like Helen Mirren, who is such a stunner and has been her whole life, and yet still has been told that she's not quite.
And then she continues to perpetuate this honestly patriarchal concept that there is a beauty standard that is like, this is beautiful and this is not. And that's that it kind of annoys me, but she's also a boomer and it's hard to teach an old boomer new tricks. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't believe you're looking around, you're looking at Kerry Russell in the face and going, you're not beautiful. Or any of them. Niecy Nash, they're gorgeous. They're all gorgeous. And it's like, I don't know. My husband and I talk about this all the time because who he thinks is beautiful is so different than what I find beautiful if we're talking about women.
Yes.
Right? I am always like, oh my God, don't you think Priyanka Chopra is so beautiful? Or don't you think Padma Lakshmi? I always think like women with a more
statuesque.
Honestly, just not a white lady with blue eyes look are so much hotter. And he's like, Amy Adams. Like he likes Girl Next Door.
Hell yeah.
And it's like,
Which
that's just
is all
everybody
good.
has different fucking opinions. And so it's wild for an actress to sit down and go but I've
That
also
none of us
been in
are
that
beautiful.
conversation too with women. Like,
Yes.
and I'm not the same age as Helen Mirren. I'm much younger than her. And I've been in the conversation with girls much younger that are like, but like none of us are like model beautiful. And I'll be like, I mean, to who? Like,
Right.
it's a bit, if you're talking about like being a size 0 that can wear runway clothes, but I also think half the models that work look like aliens. That's the look that some fashion people want. Like, we're all, you're talking about a different look. Some of these models, it's like, I don't know, like this look is wild,
I just more want to just like kind of go to Helen Mirren and be like, you are beautiful.
Yeah.
I wish that you felt that way about yourself. And it breaks me.
But she knows she's beautiful. She's trying to be humble and kind of talk about how she's interesting looking. And that's great. But
interesting the fact that she's 79
it's weird
years
that
old
you're
and
like,
she's fucking,
she's like,
Good
I think she's
Lord.
wearing that as a badge of pride. I don't look like, just a pretty face. I'm actually talented and multifaceted and I have an interesting face. But then it's like you're going around and you're just telling all these other ladies and you're like me and this is I don't know. I think that this feels like a lot of old ideas.
I do kind of understand why it got taken out, but I just think that it is an important conversation for different generations of women to discuss, of reminding ourselves that, like, you're right, that was a nuanced way of thinking for a while, but also we're all beautiful.
Yeah.
And we don't need, like, I didn't need the body positivity movement to tell myself that. The kind of things that I thirst for specifically. And there was the kind of thing that I was like, everybody I feel like is just kind of joining where I'm at, where I'm like, man, I'm attracted to everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm down,
Totally.
whatever.
And yeah, I don't know. I think they definitely had to take it down because the New York Post would be like, Helen Mirren calls Hollywood actresses ugly.
Yeah,
like,
she puked all over them.
Yeah.
She couldn't even look at them any longer. But yeah, I guess that's my unsolicited advice.
I don't think Helen Mirren is necessarily being a bitch, but she is kind of, because she has bitchy patriarchy views that have been beaten into her for 79 years.
Bitchy rhetoric.
Yeah.
Yes.
Having the right people in your corner for life's biggest milestones makes all the difference. Like a friend who's there when you're house hunting or checking out a new ride, State Farm is there too, helping you choose the coverage you need. With a State Farm agent, you know someone is there to help you along the way. And with so many coverage options, it's nice knowing you have help choosing a plan that fits your needs, so you can continue celebrating all of life's milestones. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, let's get into the meat of our show, the solicited advice. Okay. I want you, Jackie, to read the first one, and it's an update.
Got you. Hey, bitches. This is Abby, the girl whose nudes are so good you'll ruin your life over them. I want to address some of your questions and give an update. Thank you so much, Abby. First off, I cannot emphasize enough how impossible it is for me and my friends to wrap our heads around the fact that
Should we wait really quickly? Sorry. And this is an update really quickly just on Abby, whose friend S was at her house, asked to use the bathroom and use her iPad, went to the bathroom and sent himself nudes of Abby from her own iPad to his phone. He was caught. The friend group kind of excommunicated him a bit or whatever.
Yes.
And then that's where we are.
Okay. First off, I cannot emphasize enough how impossible it is for me and my friends to wrap our heads around the fact that S would do something like this. He has been a safe and supportive friend to all of us for so long. I think that this is important to why we, myself included, might be going softer on him than what a third party might deem appropriate. So, after I got back from that Mexico trip and had gotten S out of my workplace, I reached out to his partner, C, and we went to a movie together. First time we'd seen or talked to each other since the incident, and after I had learned that she was upset that I hadn't told her immediately. We saw Honora, LOL, and we were the only people in the theater, so we got to talk, cry, and laugh about the whole thing. We left on good terms, and she told me she was going to stay with family for Thanksgiving and decided what she was going to do about S. I told her I would be there for her no matter what her decision, and we left it at that. Radio silence for months after that, and I learned it was because she decided to get back with S. Apparently, he committed to therapy, sobriety, and confessed to having a porn addiction. I have been giving her space since she hasn't reached out. Now, cut to my current predicament. When the incident occurred, I made it clear to some of my friends in the group that I didn't want to ruin anyone's lives. I just needed to take care of myself. Everyone in the friend group cut S out for a while. But now, I think it's been so long, and because I haven't sought revenge, some of my friends think it's okay to let him back into their lives. They are careful with me not to have us in the same place or invited to the same event, but I know some of them have been hanging out with S behind my back. They don't hide it from me, they're just careful to keep us separated. One of my best friends even offered him a job. Am I the bitch for wanting to go absolutely apeshit on my friends? I get that I set the precedent from the beginning that I was willing to coexist, but I expected a little more solidarity from the group. Help! Also, I initially called in and didn't tell anyone, just kind of did it as a fun thing for myself and forgot about it. When my voicemail was on your podcast, my partner freaked out. He was so excited and was mind blown I didn't tell him. He sent the episode to his dad and was bragging all over. I had to tell him to cool it because I didn't need our entire town talking about the episode. Anyways, my partner is a huge fan as well, so give him a shout out if you read this story. His name is Ryan. Hey, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Sending you love, babe. Love the pod. Huge LPN fans. Sorry for the novel. Loved it. Love you, Abby. Sending you love, Ryan. Thank you so much for this update.
She also sent a quick PS that her partner, Ryan, has been like really supportive and amazing through this whole situation. So like she does have support. She's had like, you know, her boyfriend helping her throughout. Go, Ryan. Way to be a cool boyfriend.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, this is so fucking tough because it's like, yeah, he made this huge mistake. He's trying to earn his way back into the group. He's allegedly going through therapy and help.
I feel like it is one thing for them to be hanging out with him. It is definitely another thing for one of your friends to offer him a job. As far as I am concerned in this workspace, this is someone that is, I'm going to say, dangerous right now in a place of that you don't really know, you know, in the beginning of the steps of recovery, which is, I think it's great that he's getting the help that he needs. And I think it's wonderful that he's working on it. I just feel like right now is not the time to be putting him in, hopefully, or maybe it's a remote thing or something that he can really work on himself and his sobriety while he's doing it. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not saying that like, oh, you don't give a job to a person that is recently recovering either.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I just feel like I would more so in this like in this situation, talk to that best friend and be like, I don't know if you really want it. Like, what kind of job is it?
Yeah.
How much is this person going to be involved in our lives? Because I personally would go to each of the friends that are hanging out with him and be like, what's up? Can you like not do this? I think or talk about more of how you feel about like, you know, I was feeling a certain type of way, but now I'm thinking that I'm having more feelings about that, which is completely your right.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
For your feelings to change.
It's like you said something like, I know I'm the one that set the precedent. It's like, this is an unprecedented event in your life. Like you have not had somebody, as far as I know, I don't know your life story, but like you haven't had somebody that's close in your group who you've literally highlighted has been so safe and supportive to you, completely betray your trust and do something so violating.
Yes.
And so you said at the beginning, look, I'm not out here to ruin anyone's life. but then you've been processing it. So it's like, it's completely within your rights for the boundaries to change.
Yes.
It's completely within your rights to say, at first I thought that within, there's no time frames on any of this.
No.
Like at first you could have said like, well, at first I thought within 6 months I'd be over it, but now I need more time. That's okay.
That's okay.
And I think there's nothing you can really do to control your friends that are hanging out with them. I guess
I would talk about my feelings with them.
I would just talk to them about, talk about your feelings with them.
Because you're not saying you're not allowed to hang out with this person anymore.
Right.
But it is more of going to them being like, I feel this type of way about this situation, and I just like you to know, and keep that into consideration if you continue to hang out with this person.
And I think it's also okay for you to take a step back from those friends that you feel like are not like considering you. If you're like, well, this person
if they don't
really,
listen after
really
you talk
wants,
to them.
This person really, really wants a relationship with S, and I don't think I can handle that right now. I don't think I can handle seeing them hanging out on his social media or seeing them whatever. I'm gonna take a step back from that person, and that's okay too.
Yes,
I think it's like you got to do whatever you got to do to feel like safe in your group of friends, because I could totally understand why this could lead to like a paranoia of like, if this guy who we all leaned on and was amazing and supportive can betray my trust like this and do something like this, then who can't? Like who is safe? So I get like what you're going through. And it is funny because it's like you are using phrases like hang out with him behind my back, but you're like, well, they're not hiding it from you. So it's not really behind your back, but you're obviously still feeling some feelings of betrayal there. You know what I mean? So it's also like, I kind of wish I knew more timeline just in terms of like, what did they just give him 6 months and now they're letting him back in? Like, I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more, him having a little bit more time solo, working through his problems, getting the help that he needs, and not just being like, can I come back? Can I come back? Can I come back to the group yet?
Do they know the full extent of the situation? Right. How open have you been with those friends? Like, does everyone know exactly what was going on or know fully how you're feeling about this?
And I'm sorry that you felt like you had like good closure with the girlfriend with C, and that then she went back to him, because we see that time and time again. Like people, and maybe she's helping. This is complicated. This is really multi-layered issue. Maybe C is like, I'm going to be the one to help S get through this and like this and that. I would say keep the door open for her if she ends up having to come to you with problems, because I don't know what's going on with S. But I don't think you're being a bitch here by saying, oh, by the way, circumstances have changed. I'm not over it yet. I'm just not over it. That's fine.
Yes. You were valid in feeling that way.
Yeah. Thank you for always keeping us updated and
sending you and Ryan love.
Yeah. You and Ryan only. Okay. Let's listen to this voicemail. This is a voicemail from Nancy, and she had sent us one, and then she sent us another one, like kind of clarifying in case you're wondering what she's talking about up top.
Cool.
Thank you for calling Who's the Bitch. Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hi, this is Nancy again. I already know I didn't give you enough information in that first phone call. I must first say I love you guys. You're awesome. Okay. This is about an inheritance. It's approximately $80,000. There's 5 siblings, and one sibling, we'll call her Laura, was left out of the will because for years and years and years, she kept telling my mom that she was financially secure. They didn't need any money. They don't need to be in the will. They don't need to be in the will. Well, my mom took her at face value and left her out of the will. So, and they do have money, and they are getting about $11,000 out of the will because my brother-in-law was the executor of the will. So he got paid $50 an hour for taking care of everything. Okay. So my sister Lola, who did get money like me, she is better off than I am financially. And she is the one that said that my sister's very upset that she was left out of the will and that we should all give $2,500. Now, I know that's not a lot of money, but it is also a lot of money.
Yeah, of course it is.
I have a daughter with mental health issues, and she's an adult that I need to spend money on. Also, I need to get a lawyer to try to get her guardianship. It's very complicated. I have all kinds of just pay off medical bills and student loans. I have $39,000 in student loans I have to pay off. So am I the bitch for not wanting to give my sister $2,500? Or should I just suck it up? Because if I don't, my other sister or both of my sisters are going to be mad at me. My sister, we'll call her Barbara, she and I are on the same page. We both need the money for ourselves, but should we risk not giving our $2,500 just to keep the peace? Would love to hear your advice on this one. I can't believe I have to deal with this. So thank you. Love you guys.
Okay. So just to clarify, in case, because I also got to listen to the first voicemail. So the sisters, the four siblings out of the 5 all got an even amount of money. And one sister came to the other ones and said, should we all just give her $2,500 because she's upset that she got left out of the will, even though the sister who got left out has money and her husband's getting $11,000. I mean, I just think, no. If it's me, I'm like, hey, mom left me this. I'm keeping this. Like, you told her you didn't want the money. I need the money for XYZ. This would be nothing to you. Like, if you have a bunch of money, $2,500 isn't going to change your life. It's not if you have a bunch of money. And if your husband's already getting $11K, it's not like you're getting nothing out of your mom's estate.
Right.
So what is this, a symbolic $2,500? Your mom didn't leave it to you because you said you didn't want it.
Right.
It doesn't have anything to do with how much your mom loves you. And by taking it away from your sisters who actually need the money, I just think your sister's being unfair. I think you should really calmly go to your other siblings and go, listen, this is money that was legally given to me and I need it for XYZ. And if anyone gets mad at you about that, it's like, you are so much more financially secure than me. Why are you asking me for this? Like, what will this do to change your life? Because here's how it will change my life. I have X, Y, Z, PD, Q, whatever. That's examine your zipper. I have so many fucking things I need to use this money on. And I just don't think they are within their rights.
Completely. And I do wonder, how open of a conversation you can have about this because I know, money
and family,
especially money and family, especially, believe me, I understand, especially while you're grieving and going through all of this, it's already a tricky situation. So it's adding just something on top of it that, of course which I would understand. I feel like in this situation, I'd be like, no, you're not getting the fucking money. And I would also be very, very angry about it. But that's not going to help this situation at all. I think the only thing that can help this situation is going to your siblings, the other siblings first that are going to be giving the $2,500 and saying can you actually afford to do this? And if you can, I support you. But I
can't afford to do it.
I think that it is explaining, and it sucks because usually in any other circumstance, you could be like, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. I don't need to show you anything. But I feel like maybe it might help just because I know it's so tricky with siblings specifically of showing them look, this is literally what my bills are. This is even showing a little bit more of receipts. Not all of it.
You don't have to
air
all your shit out, but
just of giving more of an idea because also reminding yourself that people like the sister that has the money, people that have had money for a long time, and I hate to say this, they forget what it's like to not have money. They forget that $2,500 to some people is
a huge
substantial is
chunk
something
of a
that
payment
will
that you're
make
waiting
or break
to
their month. And that is something that I do truly feel like sometimes people forget.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't get the keep the peace of it all. Why is she upset? You said you didn't need the money and your mom listened to you and now your sisters have to pay for it, or your sisters and your brother. I don't know what the sibling mix is, but that seems crazy. You shouldn't have said that to your mom if you needed the money or whatever.
And you shouldn't feel bad about not giving the money either, because that money is yours.
Yeah.
And it is rightfully yours. But I know saying that out loud and saying that to your brain are two very different things.
Totally.
I completely understand. This is such a tricky situation. But the only thing that is going to help is by not defensively talking about it.
Yeah.
And I know that's like saying, oh, I'm sorry, do I have to climb my way into heaven and rip a halo off of a dead angel's head? And yes, sometimes we have to claw our way up there and rip that angel off that cloud and say, not today,
not
bitch.
today, angel.
I'm the fucking angel. And it will be difficult to navigate, but you guys are already talking about it. So just keep talking about it and stick to your guns, because you don't owe them anything. You don't owe her anything.
Yeah, it's just, and then what? You'll feel like, the sister will feel like, well, my mom left me out of the will. Why are you upset? I don't even get why your sister's upset. And then it's
even though going in like that is not going to help anything either, though.
But it's like you thought your sister, you thought, I told my mom multiple times not to put me in the will. And then when she listened to me, why would mom listen to me?
How dare
and
she?
now she's gone. And it's like, she doesn't love me. It's like, that's not, maybe you guys could arrange like for her to get some kind of like really special piece of something that belonged to your mom, like a piece of jewelry or a piece of art or like something that was hers, like that maybe you guys, that she would really like. That's a really
good idea.
Like, so that it's like she does feel like she's getting a piece, because to me, it's like getting a piecemeal bunch of money from your siblings is not the same thing as your mom leaving you something in the will. So what value are you assigning to it? It doesn't make sense.
God,
it feels like she's thinking about it almost only from a money point of view. And so if that's how she's going to think about it, then you need to be like, okay, well, legally it's my money.
Yep,
like, so, you know, like if it gets to that point, if it gets shitty. But
we're sending you
Nancy,
love and non-shitty vibes.
Please let us know. I mean, I'm dying. This is very like August Osage County, all of this. I'm dying to hear what happens.
At Capella University, you can learn at your own pace with our FlexPath learning format. Take 1 or 2 courses at a time and complete as many as you can in a 12-week billing session. With FlexPath, you can finish the bachelor's degree you started in 19 months and under $19,000. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu. Fastest 25% of students. Cost varies by pace, transfer credits, and other factors. Fees apply.
Instacart is here to keep you on the couch this basketball season. With pre-game rituals and post-game interviews, it's hard to find time for everything else. Let Instacart handle your game day snacks or weekly restocks with delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Because it's bad luck to be hungry on game day. Download the Instacart app today and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Service fees apply for 3 orders in 14 days. Excludes restaurants.
Okay, let's move on to our next email. I will read. This is juicy.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere. This is juicy. Okay.
You've got
Hi, amazing bitches. I need your help figuring out if I'm the bitch in this juicy mess. I'm 26, and a couple weeks ago, I matched with this older married guy on Tinder. I'm ethically non-monogamous too, so I was fine with it when he said he and his wife were open.
Right.
We texted a ton over a 2-week span, flirty, sometimes deep, and some kinky texting. Our age gap was a focal point of some of the spicy messages, and I was admittedly pretty enamored. He said he had a 4-year-old and a 4-month-old. That made me pause, like, how does a dad with a brand new baby have time to date outside his marriage and be a present father and good partner with his postpartum wife? But I didn't question it too hard at first because I was deep in the fantasy of this older man. He didn't share his personal social media, only his photography account. So I did what any slightly suspicious young woman might do and did some mild stalking on Google. Because, you know, I sent this man my nudes. I got to make sure he's not a violent criminal.
Yes.
Honestly, it wasn't that hard. People are pretty easy to find online. Nothing is private. I found his wife's social media, and she'd posted in January about expecting a baby due in June. And for everybody listening, that's right now. That's this month. That means the baby wouldn't have been born yet. Why lie about having a 4-month-old? I asked him about it super politely just to clarify and admitted I'd looked him up. He immediately blocked me on everything. That felt shady, and I questioned if he truly had an open relationship. So I reached out to his wife via Instagram DM to let her know what happened in a respectful message because I figured she deserved to know. She blocked me too.
What?
Feeling confused and mad about men being shitty to their pregnant wives, I found his work phone number online and left a generic voicemail asking for a call back. Nothing personal, no details, just enough that if somebody else heard it, they'd think it was a wrong number. But he immediately unblocked me and sent me a message telling me to stop harassing him and his wife, and then blocked me again, so I couldn't respond. Now I'm feeling like I could have overstepped by calling his work phone and by reaching out to his wife after only 2 weeks of chatting. I felt like the stereotypical crazy younger woman in this scenario. My partner thinks maybe he really was ENM, ethically non-monogamous, and just felt incredibly violated by me Googling him and messaging his wife. But I can't help feeling like if it was truly a miscommunication, he would have just cleared it up instead of blocking me. At that point, he could have said he didn't want further contact, but the whole thing just feels shady. Also, this baby thing is wild. Even with an open relationship, how could it possibly be ethical to be seeking out new connections when your wife is either about to give birth or 4 months postpartum? So am I the bitch for Googling him, messaging his wife, and leaving that voicemail? Okay, maybe there was 2 voicemails. Or was he the bitch for lying about his baby and then blocking me when I asked about it? Parentheses, his wife is clearly not the bitch in this situation. Okay.
Wow.
I have to say, okay,
Yes.
Listen, you're 26 and I love that about you. I think that's great. You're young, you're savvy on the internet. It's great. And I like that you're ethically non-monogamous. And so you were totally accepting of this guy at first. But like, honestly, like, I'm trying to word this because it's really not your business how he's treating his postpartum wife. It really isn't. Like,
right.
People have a lot of different arrangements. Like, I was 2 weeks postpartum and my husband left town for 9 weeks to go do a job. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a little bit different than having a sexual relationship with someone else. But other moms that I know are like, that's crazy. Like, they can't believe that we would let that happen. It's possible that his wife was like, yeah, like.
But she's not even postpartum though. She hasn't even had the baby yet.
Sure. But even if she had, that's really not our business.
Yes,
like, it's not our business to assume what this woman needs or wants. Like, if she was in agreement with what you found, she would have messaged you back on Instagram. Like, I don't think she wanted you in her business and wanted you to be her savior. And maybe you are correct and he's a full asshole and he's out there lying to girls about how old his kids are and he's not there for his postpartum wife. But like, I don't really think that you can internet sleuth your way into that situation. Like, I think it's really like, I mean, it's crazy. You guys didn't even meet face to face. This was all chatting, right? This was all chatting. You hadn't even dated yet. So it's like, he could be, maybe he made up the 4 months because he's like, oh yeah, no woman really wants to hear that my wife is pregnant. That turns them off instead I say I have a young baby because it's only kind of like a half lie because I have a young baby on the way.
But then why wouldn't he have explained himself? And I guess my question is, I'm so curious as to why he blocked the second they admitted to Googling him.
Because he's older and I don't think he understands how fucking easy it is to find out everything about you online. And he was like, you're a stalker. I don't think you're... Listen, up until that point, I didn't think you were a stalker. I didn't think you were a stalker just Googling him. Everybody Googles their dates. Everybody Googles their dates.
Does.
And if you're 26 and this guy's, 46, like that's still too young to be like, you're Googling me? Like, everybody Googles.
That's very weird. And that's what makes me like, if this guy, it's like, was he just like, I feel like, was he that stupid that he would do that and not give like a false name or give or give more information so that he would not be able to be found, or, you know, that was part of their, you know, their kink of in talking about it. Like, he liked that it was all like separate and distinct, and, you know, and that's completely understandable. It is the kind of thing that, how old was this person that he didn't think he was going to be Googled?
Was okay. But I think also it's like...
That's not stalking, by the way.
But it's not at all. But Googling is one thing. And
calling
then
the work phone, I think, is where it is when it's.
I also think messaging the wife. I think messaging the wife because it's like you can Google him, you found out more about him, but then it's like you found his wife's social media and you went on it and you like went through it. That would start to feel to me a little bit like, wait, what? Like, I mean, put it.
I don't understand why you do it. You just don't message.
It's hard to go. Yeah, I know.
I understand why you. I mean, that's the thing. Let's be real here. I understand why you look through it.
Yeah, but to message, I think that's when you sort of cross the line a little bit because it probably felt to the wife like you were trying to do this. Like, wait, hold on. Let me just make sure I have the right timeline. Oh, you didn't message the wife until after he blocked you. And so I know that you thought that you were doing something like virtuous. Like you really thought you were like letting this woman know, but it's like we can't just assume, especially someone you haven't met in person.
Right.
Like you just can't assume. That's why it's like meet people and go on dates with them and get a real vibe for them in person. I always feel because like you're chatting for 2 weeks, but no one's made a move to meet up. Like that to me is a little bit shady in its own, unless you wanted it to just be a fully online textual relationship, in which case maybe his wife allows that. Maybe his wife lets him go on and have kinky chat rooms and goes on and says whatever he wants as long as he doesn't act on it. Who knows? Like it isn't your. If you were having sex with him and you found out that he was like lying about all this stuff, I don't know. It's like I do also sometimes think it's okay for a woman to go, an other woman, quote unquote, to go to the wife and say, this is what's happening. But I think in the situation that you're in, it's like you guys haven't even met face to face. You found this information out through internet. You know, like
and you're also not a hundo.
You just don't know their situation.
Like you're just not definitely
and you don't
sure.
know. Yeah. So I think to cross the line there. Also, this poor fucking woman. She's like 9 months pregnant, and she's got this girl texting her, going, "I've been kinky texting with your husband, and he told me he's ENM, and maybe you're not." This woman's like, "I don't have time for this." She probably was like, "Block."
Yeah, with another kid too, just being like, I can't do this right now.
And then finding his work phone number and leaving those messages is definitely an overstep.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're right. It is. It really is. And I understand why. I understand the want. Oh, baby, I understand the want.
Yeah.
But it does seem like I just need you to know that on the outside looking in, it seems like this guy got scared because you Googled him and then just kind of was like, oh, block. Hurry, block. And
it's totally possible he's cheating on his wife. It's totally possible he's cheating on his wife. It's also totally possible that she's like, listen, I'm going to be pregnant and I don't really feel like having sex right now, even though pregnant women totally love having sex, in my experience. Like, I don't really feel like having sex, and then I'm going to be postpartum for a while, and I know that you're super sexual and we're ethically non-monogamous, so you go out and get as much ass as you need as long as you're here for your diaper changing feedings or whatever. But he also didn't meet up with you in real life, so who knows if this is like just
what they
kinky shit that they do online. So I'm not saying you're like you're a nosy bitch, but so am I, you know?
Yes,
so it's like I do think,
I'm not like wagging my finger at you being like, I've never heard of these.
Yeah.
I completely get where you're coming from.
And I get like the intent behind trying to reach out to the wife, but it's like, I think we need to like take a step back and realize that everybody's marriage has very specific like layers to it and arrangements and stuff like that. And
you don't know what goes on between their relationship.
Yeah. And I would just say, it sounds like you're really into going with older guys or flirting with older guys. I would just say, be careful about how much you bring up your Google results to them, because I think that could scare off an older generation of men.
That or you go the opposite way of like, just so you know, up top, I am going to Google you at some point. In case you don't know the word Google or you don't know what that means, but I'm like definitely going to be Googling you.
Yeah.
And I am assuming you're going to be Googling me as well. So, right?
Yeah.
I like wasn't dating that long ago. Like even I was Googling everybody before I would go on a date with somebody.
Right.
You gotta look it up.
But if I'm like on this guy's side and I'm like, oh, I didn't really like that she looked up all my shit, I think I'm out and I'm just gonna block. That's immature and shitty, but like what isn't immature and shitty that men are doing on online dating apps or anything? But then you message his wife, then you leave two voicemails at his work. Like he's definitely feeling the fatal attractionness of it all.
Yeah.
And being like, but you are not a stereotypical crazy younger woman in this scenario because you recognize that your behavior has been a little bit crazy.
Yes.
Because if you weren't like, I think you recognize that you crossed the line.
Yes.
So I would say, good luck with the next guy though, because it sounds like you guys were having some fun, hot and heavy, kinky combos.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
You ready for our next guy?
Yeah. Wait, I think it's a voicemail, right?
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling. Who's the bitch? Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hey, y'all. So I recently called, but I might have been a little too high to tell the story properly. Let me do it over again. So I'm a 24-year-old gay man living in Philadelphia, and I'm lucky enough to be at a nice apartment with a big-ass pool, like a huge-ass outdoor pool. So that being said, every time I can, I like to go out and lay there. So the other weekend on Saturday, I was outside from 11 to 1 roughly, and I went inside to call my mom quick, use the restroom, and also, frankly, get more beers. Anyways,
Hell yeah.
So that ended up being 30 minutes while I was away from the pool. That being said, during the time, I had tucked my towel into the side of my chair to let other people know that that chair was occupied. Not only was there a towel there, but it was also tucked in, indicating I'm not done.
Mm-hmm.
So I return outside, and there's a 30-something-year-old lady in an ugly straw hat that looks like a community production of The Wizard of Oz on crack. Anyways, and I play, I'm crossed, honestly, but I'm polite. I'm from the Midwest, so I say, hey, I'm sorry. I was sitting here. My towel was there, very polite. And she's like, yeah, actually, you can't save seats, so I just moved your towel to a different spot.
Okay.
Okay. So I looked at her and I said, I don't care. That was my spot. And of course I was stammered. My main question is, what would you guys do in this situation? So because I was so angry, my honest thought was just calling her the C word, which I didn't think was appropriate.
I understand.
Because all of her friends were also around her. So I didn't want to just get roasted. So the lamest and most basic thing I could think of was saying nice rolls as I walked away, looking her up and down at her stomach. And I did hear her friends gasp as, oh my God, did he say that? But that's, a fat joke. It's so elementary. Anyways, I could have done so much better, and I'm disappointed. My main question is, ladies, what would you guys do in a situation where someone, it sounds so juvenile, but where someone stole your spot, but you don't want to make a scene? But also, bitch, get the fuck out of my spot. Do you want to get hit? I'm not going to hit you, but you know what I mean. Anyways, thank you guys for your advice. Love the podcast. Bye.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I love this call only because I feel as though you are not the bitch and the bitch at the same time.
I completely understand.
So this is huge. Summer is upon us,
yes,
okay? We are all going to be at a lot more pools. We're all going to be at a lot
Summer
more.
Bitchathon, June 26th.
Yes, Summer Bitchathon. I feel like I get into a fucking towel conversation everywhere I go.
Good Lord.
Because I do think it's annoying at like a hotel where you just have somebody wake up at like 6 a.m. and go down and throw a bunch of pool towels on there. And then when people actually come down ready to sit, there's nowhere to sit. And these people wander down whenever they want because they had their little early bird towel person.
Right.
There's so much politics behind this. I want to know, what is the policy of your building? Is there a seat saving rule?
Ooh.
Because that girl said there's no seat saving. Is she correct? Like, I would go, if I were you, I would not that you could do this exactly in that moment. Maybe it wouldn't be available to you, but like, I would have those rules like on hand, a snap on your phone, something like that. And like next time you see her, go, just so you know, there is nothing in the pool rules that says anything about saving seats. I do think going up to your apartment for 30 minutes and using the phone and doing whatever you need to do at your building pool and leaving your towel tucked in is completely within reason. You're allowed to do that.
Completely.
If you leave for like 2 hours, I'd probably be like, come on, man. 30 minutes is that's not enough to say you lose your seat. Okay. this girl just moving your towel is fucked up. She shouldn't have done that.
This was my first thought when you asked, like, what would you do in this situation is I would say, oh, I'm sorry, where is that posted?
Yeah.
Is that posted here? Can you show me?
Yeah.
I'd love it. No, yeah, right now. Could you? I'd love to see because I was here for hours and I didn't know.
And always downplay it. And I left for 20 minutes. And
yeah.
And
so it's like, I would really know. It's like, oh, if this is a rule that I had no idea, this is my problem. I go the passive aggressive route because my issue is y'all know that I've been in anger management a couple times in my day. So my first thought is I see red in situations like this. I usually refer to it as going red when I start seeing red, that like I am not in control of how I react, because I understand being in a situation like that, feeling like you're slighted, not knowing what to do, and then you say something like a fat joke and you're just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, why would I fucking, because sometimes I feel like our brain goes into like, you can almost smell the synapses firing because it's just like, just like I have so many things to say that I feel like I usually go a route that I'm like, how can I annoy them then? Okay, no, show me. I'd love to see the rules. Yeah, I'd love to see it because I don't want to break the rules. So, and if you can't show me, then I'm going to take the seat back.
Yeah.
I think is what I would do.
Yeah.
And then I would take the seat back.
Yeah, but it's like, I get how that is tough. If she's sitting there with a bunch of people,
of course it's tough.
They've all moved into your area and she's in your seat, but like, honestly, the whole group is like kind of in on it, right? Like they took this area of chairs. I would say, if you honestly want to know honestly what I would do, like I would probably end up walking away, but after doing what Jackie just said, I'd be like, oh, really? Like, where in the rules does it say that you can't leave for 20 minutes to go do something in your apartment and come back? Like, I wasn't saving a seat. I was using this seat.
Yeah.
And then if she can't argue back with you and she's just like, no, you just can't. Like, you're not, I'd just be like, okay, well, that's untrue. I'm going to walk away and be the bigger person, but you're incorrect.
But you're incorrect.
And
yes.
like,
I kind of shame. Like,
and it's like a little bit of shame rather than like the C word is not appropriate.
No, it's
calling
not
her a
going to
bitch,
do anything.
Making a fat joke is inappropriate.
Then you're immediately
we don't
in the
talk
wrong,
about people's bodies.
Now you are the bitch, because then you immediately, it's like, well, now you are the bitch in the situation. And you were like, so not the bitch. And then you made a fat joke.
Yeah.
And now you are
and you
the
lost
bitch.
your credibility.
Yep.
And so I understand why that makes you like, I mean, honestly, you could have walked away and just gone, nice hat. And then like just kept going.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you don't like the hat. I mean, but the way like people's bodies, I just really feel like is off limits.
Yeah.
Like, especially, just like.
It takes all your agency away.
With anything like this, it's also like, this is not a public pool. This is your pool that you have to go to all the time. This woman might live in your building. You might see her again. Like, you don't want to start like a massive, like blow up.
No.
When there's people,
Not at the
when
start
these
of
are
the
people
summer.
that you have to coexist with.
But I do think that this is something that you're, like you said, if this is a person you're going to have to see for the rest of the summer, though, this is going to have to be another conversation.
Yeah.
And but then start working on it. What is that conversation? Like, it's like, because then you can have a couple of these things kind of like stowed away in your brain, because I'm such a, like, even last night I was waiting in a very, very long line and these two people like came from nowhere and cut in front of us. And what do? I just loudly behind them talk about what bad karma it is to just come out from nowhere and cut someone. Isn't it so ridiculous that nobody cares about anybody? And I just boomered at them for, I think, 7 minutes straight of me talking about, and I was like, well, at least they suffered in some fashion.
They got it one way or the other, what was coming to them.
And they knew I was talking about them. And they kept just like looking back as if to be like, yes, we get it. I hear you. Yeah. And I didn't stop. Kara. So sometimes.
You know what I'll also say, though, in the grand politics of a beach, not beach, sorry. You know what I'll say, though, also in terms of the grand politics of like Shay's Lounge, seat saving or calling or anything like that, leave another piece of something. Don't just leave your towel. A book,
something.
a flip-flop, a t-shirt. Leave anything else. People should not be touching your personal shit.
Exactly.
And they won't. Like, I've been at so many, I just for Mother's Day went to a hotel pool where there were so many chairs that just had crumpled up towels on them. And I was like, is that Is that in use? Because that's like just one of the public towels from the pool. But
yes, but also
like
leave
you don't have
something
any
you can
stuff
lose.
here.
You also leave something you can lose just in case, but you're so right of leaving something else because then the issue is you touched my things.
Yeah.
And it's not even about the seat saving, it's about your personal items.
Yeah, fuck. If you want to be super passive aggressive, you should make a little sign that says, went to my apartment to use the bathroom, be back in 5, and just, or like be right back, and then just leave it on your thing, laminate it, put it there all summer whenever you get up. And they're going to be like, they're never going to fuck with you again. I'll tell you that much.
Sometimes passive
you just have your little, I'm serious.
know?
In a situation like that, I think passive aggression works way better than aggression.
Oh, yes.
It's your place where you live. There's a ton of people around that are on her side, and it sounds to me like you didn't really have anybody on your side to help fight with you. So but I would say try to keep your bitchiness under control and not make, comments about bodies or anything like that. Just try to keep it as, or, kill him with kindness and be like super sarcastic shit like that, Like, okay, I'll let you sit here with your friends because I bet you guys don't get to hang out a lot or something like that because you're so busy.
Well, you look miserable.
Yeah. You're so busy being an asshole. Okay. Let's get one more.
Let's get one more
email
in there.
Here, Jackie. Please
All right.
read.
You've got A week and a half ago, my ex from 15 years ago sent me an email after all this time of no contact and being blocked. He went out of his way to send it to a business email. He was my first, and we ended very badly. We were both 22 years old and dealing with a lot of issues, and the relationship was bad. But he was my first, and we basically spent all of college together. I was extremely attached to him. He was very controlling and expected it would last forever. I came from a very homophobic family, and he was supposed to be my safe place. He dumped me a week before my college graduation, and it destroyed my life for a while. I couldn't function for over a year and really put myself in danger. Over the years, I rebuilt everything, and I am happy with a husband and a career. I put all that to bed years ago, and I never think of him. Then he sends this apology email, but it wasn't him taking accountability. The subtext seemed to be more about wanting forgiveness for himself and validating how he's changed. I literally had a nuclear meltdown, full PTSD trauma implosion. It was so unexpected and leveling. I responded extremely angrily and told him how ghosting me had truly destroyed me for years. He responded he never knew, of course he didn't. He just disappeared from my life and did seem to understand. He said all the things I never knew I wanted to hear. So did I. The emails went on until I felt there was nothing left to say and ended it. I said I forgave him, but only because I had to for me. The thing is, this has completely flipped my wig. Constant panic, intrusive thoughts. I found him on Instagram, I know, cringe, and he's married to a fucking gorgeous, successful model, and he himself has an esteemed career. I have a very stressful white-collar job, and I'm having issues functioning a bit since. I made an appointment to get help and to talk to someone. As Jackie would say, this has plummeted me into a bad brain time I haven't experienced in over a decade. Am I the bitch for even responding and giving this person my energy? Am I the bitch for obsessing over why he would do this now and comparing my life to his? My husband has been so patient and understanding, but I know he is hurt by how this has affected me. Wow.
Damn.
Wow. By the way, you are not a bitch for responding. And for you, anything that you needed to do in this moment of, especially as you were feeling PTSD and you were feeling all of these many, many feelings, it is completely understandable to respond. And in fact, you didn't respond, you reacted instead of responding. And that is also understandable.
Yeah.
So don't hold that against yourself. And especially because it seems like your husband is not holding it against you. So, give yourself some grace, all right? This is a situation this is a big situation for you. So please handle yourself and forgive yourself because this is a lot.
Yeah. And I think it's great that you reached out to someone for help. I think it's great because obviously this is like sort of opening up a really old wound for you. I mean, it's giving Elle Woods. It's giving like right as college is ending, you get dumped by who you think is going to be the love of your life. And then you eventually pick yourself back up and fucking kill it.
And of course, the comparison, that is completely understandable. Of course, you're going to compare between what you're going through and what they're going through. Now, that's completely, you work well within your brain rights. And I understand, of course, it's going to plummet you into a bad brain time.
Yeah. But also keep in mind, Instagram is Instagram. Okay. It doesn't matter how gorgeous his husband is. Maybe his husband is a fucking bag of bricks to talk to. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, he's got a great career. Maybe so it looks like on Instagram. Who knows for sure? Like, that is not real. Do not, I would literally block him on Instagram or do whatever to like protect your peace so that you're not like going back to keep checking on things or going in his life. Like, I would really cut off the contact with him and try to see the email exchange process with him as like a painful sort of healing moment and move on from that with the help of somebody professional. And don't just keep like ripping, like opening the scab with like checking in on his Instagram and how he's doing or comparing his life or his husband or anything he has to what you have. Like, right. You know, it was a long time ago. I get that it was like, I think it was just like, yeah, he was your first and he was like, and you have this family situation. I completely understand.
Yeah.
Like this guy helped you so much. And then to just drop
ghost you?
To ghost you. Not even to just break up, but to break up and just be like, go no contact. That's so incredibly painful. That's a death. I mean, that's a death.
Yes.
That's an absolute death in your life. And now the ghost has come back to literally like, talk to you and haunt you and be like, sorry for dying and everything I did. And I think you're completely, this makes sense. I'm just saying, don't be like, whoa, this is, how did this even happen? Like, this makes total sense to me that this happened. I just think, work with your professional resource that you're going into, like, you know, I don't know, therapy or what kind of things you're going to do, but work with your therapist and work through it. But also like, anytime you're having like this panic and intrusive, and they're going to give you like, tools for like how to deal with when you're starting to have like the panic come on when you're in the middle of a work day or the intrusive thoughts. But I would say just limit yourself on the how much contact you could have with him. Like, I don't know, maybe block the email or and block the Instagram. Like, don't go back and look at that stuff.
Yes, it just got ripped back open. All those stitches, everything that healed, it healed so nicely. Think of it as being like literally ripped back open.
And you just have to work on rehealing.
And this is your time that you are working on creating, you know, the stitches for yourself and working on what you never got to work on when you were 22 and going through all of that. And now this is stuff that you know, it seems like you're in a better place to be able to deal with it now. And be proud of yourself for working to get to the place that you're able to see that like this for what it is.
Yeah.
And that you're able to see the bad brain, because there are portions in our life when you don't even know that it's going on. You don't even know that you're feeling this kind of way because you're already making bad decisions and you're doing other things, and because you spiral out sometimes, and you're working on this and you are staying on top of this, and good for you, because this is so hard to do.
Yeah.
And it is so jarring to receive a message. I remember going through this in a time period when I was working through being a bully, because I was a bully for years, and wanting to go back and reach out to the people that I had hurt, and really working on that in therapy of working through what I needed to get through, because a lot of that was you don't know what the other person is going through when you essentially, I know that this is maybe over dramatic, but this is how I had to feel like this, being attacked out of nowhere. And that's essentially how I was explained by a therapist, that like that is
you got ambushed.
That you
got emotionally ambushed.
You got ambushed. You got emotionally ambushed.
And listen, I'm sorry to keep comparing this very serious moment in your life to what I consider to be a seminal piece of cinema, Legally Blonde. But like, remember when Elle Woods, like, then she does go back to Harvard and she fucking kills her life and she thinks she's going to get back together with Warren, and she sees like he's with this Selma Blair, beautiful woman who's like so different from her and stuff like that. But it's like, he still sucks. Like, he's still the asshole. He's the villain of the fucking movie. So it's like, even though she kept looking at it and being like, isn't this still what I want? She realized it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't think you fucking want this guy. I don't care how hot his husband is. I don't think you want.
No.
It's literally just you're dealing with the trauma of being ambushed, and now you have to let this wound like re-heal itself. And I honestly hate the word wound so much. I can't believe I'm saying it so much. But
does it yuck you out because it thinks of it like you think of it like weeping?
Yeah. Stop. Don't. But thank you so much for writing to us. I hope that this helps for you to know that this is like also, completely normal. What
you're not the bitch in this, and you giving this person your energy is completely understandable, and why you would want to hear this person out because you're a human being. Yeah, I'm sure you were so curious,
and I'm sure you're going to work through this with your therapist too. But like, would you rather that this hadn't happened at all? Would you rather that he had not reached out to you? Because he said a bunch of stuff that you didn't know you really needed to hear.
But maybe this can be the start of a new healing that you really needed.
Right. So I feel like I think he's the bitch for obviously ghosting you and completely abandoning you then. But I don't know if he's the bitch for reaching back out after all of these years to apologize. I wish he took more accountability. But once you told him all the ways he hurt you, it sounds like he did say, oh, fuck, like, I guess I didn't realize what I was like, what a big impact I made. And I like, hopefully you got an apology that made you feel better. And now you're dealing with the aftermath,
Yeah.
Which I totally understand. It's you're on a roller coaster. But
we're sending you love.
Thank you. And thank you for writing into us, and we're sending you tons of love.
Keep working on you. You've got this. It's going to be a process, and you're going to come out even better on the other side. It's the worst part about sometimes I'm sorry, Kara, wounds being ripped open.
Also I feel like lean on your husband a little bit, like I know it might feel like, oh no, that's just going to make him think that I'm jealous to get back with this guy. But I think it's important for your husband to know like that this is one of the biggest pains you had in your life pre-knowing him, pre-being with him. And now it's sent you like, I would say try not to keep it a secret from your husband, because this is not about you being like, I'm still in love with this man. It's about you have to recover from this, emotional ambush that you just, experienced. All right. Well, we have to wrap up today's episode. Thank you guys so much, everybody who writes us in. We're getting so many submissions. We're going to try to put out more bitchlets every week. So those are on our Instagram, which is Who's the Bitch LPN. Follow our Instagram. You can, of course, send in your situations and bitchuations to who'sthebitch.com. Don't forget about June 26th, the summer Bitchathon 2025. That's going to be from 4 to 7 Pacific on our YouTube. And even if you're not going to come to that, just go subscribe to our YouTube.
Yes,
even if you don't even fucking use YouTube and you're never going to watch one of our videos, help us get it. We're launching a YouTube channel. We're millennials launching a YouTube channel. Don't you feel sad for us? Just go
Who's
fucking
the Bee.
@Who's the Bee on YouTube. Please go give it a subscribe. Okay. And if you're interested in what's going on with our show and other shows on the Last Podcast Network, our fearless leader, Henry, will be doing a keynote address today at 3 p.m. Pacific. So if you're listening to this podcast in the morning, you still have time to set your timer and watch it. It's going to be simultaneously streaming at twitch.tv/LPNTV, as well as the Last Podcast on the Left YouTube channel. So you can tune in there and see what the plan is for the future of video at the network.
Yes, and tell us definitely why you agree with us that carnations are also kind of bitchy.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it, carnations, you know what? Kind of bitchy. Who gives a fuck?
I don't know. Carnations are just dumb, but I can't tell if I hate carnations or Sex and the City just told me to.
I think it might be the latter.
Yeah. I think they just told me that they're bad and I don't want, and that's what I think.
All right. Talk to you, everybody, next week.
2 free-thinking bitches signing off. Bye.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.